The Delhi High Court today came down heavily on MCD and Delhi police. The High Court transferred the probe into the death of 3 UPSC students due to drowning at a Delhi coaching centre basement to the Central Bureau of Investigation. The court has said that it is transferring the case to the CBI so that the public does not doubt the probe and cited the seriousness of these incidents. The court also highlighted the gravity of the incidents and the potential involvement of corruption amongst public officials as key reasons for this directive. Now, during the proceedings, the court has rebuked the Delhi police for their handling of the investigation. The court slammed police officials present and said that mercifully, you've not challaned rainwater for entering the basement. The statement was a pointed critique of the police's approach following their arrest of Manoj Kathuria, the driver of an SUV alleged to have contributed to the flooding. However, there's no end to politics over this incident. BJP slammed the corrupt officials and AAP netas for this incident. BJP has also demanded stringent action against the corrupt and the responsible.
सिर्फ इस मसले को ही डील नहीं किया गया, बल्कि ऑनरेबल कोर्ट ने जो दिल्ली की एक बड़ी समस्या बनती चली जा रही है, जो फ्री बीज की समस्या है, ऑनरेबल कोर्ट ने ये भी कहा कि बाहर से लोग सिर्फ ये फ्री बीज और इसके चक्कर में बाहर से लोग हर रोज आ रहे हैं, लेकिन उनके रहने सहने के लिए, उनके इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लिए दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट कोई काम नहीं कर रही है। एक तो सीबीआई को ट्रांसफर कर दिया गया, सीबीसी का एक ऑफिसर की निगरानी में रहेगा। एमसीडी कमिश्नर को ऑर्डर दिया गया है कि जो भी इंक्रोचमेंट है आप उसको इंक्रोचमेंट हटाइए, और जो भी वहाँ पे जो समस्याएं हैं ड्रेनेज की, एमसीडी कमिश्नर ने एक बहुत बड़ी बात आ गई, एमसीडी कमिश्नर ने कोर्ट में स्वीकार किया कि वहाँ स्टॉर्म वाटर ड्रेन की समस्या थी, वो क्लीन नहीं था, जिसकी वजह से ये हादसा हुआ होगा।
मैं स्वागत करता हूं हाईकोर्ट के निर्णय का, और हम पहले दिन से कह रहे थे कि जो विभाग, जो मंत्री थे संतरी इस पूरे हादसे के जिम्मेदार हैं, उनके खिलाफ सीबीआई की जांच हो, उन सबको सूली पे लटका देना चाहिए। चाहे वो सौरभ भारद्वाज हैं, आतिशी मार लेना, उनके विधायक हैं, कोई अफसर है, जो भी इसमें शामिल है, जो उनसे भी, चाहे जल बोर्ड है, नगर निगम है, इन सब अधिकारियों के खिलाफ कड़ी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। उन मासूम बच्चों के ये हत्यारे हैं, उनकी लापरवाही के कारण, नालों की सफाई न होने के कारण ये हादसा हुआ है।
All right, and let's take a quick look at what are the observations of the court that have been so scathing, because the court has come out to say that it's time to look into the freebie culture. They've also gone on to say that cannot continue freebies if government can't find revenues. They've also observed that no cabinet meeting has been held in Delhi since March 2024. The fourth observation is that there's no standing committee for over a year, and this is a serious question that is linked to the MCD. Observation 5 is that Delhi is moving from one crisis to the next. For more on this, Madhavdas Singh joins us, and he was part of that entire hearing. Madhavdas, it's for the second time this week that the Delhi police and the Delhi government, the MCD, have all been questioned by the Delhi High Court. Stinging observations coming in for the second time in less than 3 days.
Yes, Madhav, in fact, Delhi police was again slammed by the Delhi High Court. The DCP as well as the investigating officer were present in the courtroom. And as you rightly said a few minutes back, that the court asked as to, it was in fact mercifully that the water was not challaned. But there were also some very stinging observation by the High Court. The High Court said that why the police has not seized the case files, and also importantly why no summons have been issued to the MCD officials. The court also asked that is there any kind of brotherly love between Delhi police and MCD officials. After this hearing, which went on for nearly 2 hours, the court in fact said that the investigation should be handed over to the CBI and it has to be supervised by the CVC. One of the vigilance commissioners should in fact supervise the entire investigation. Other thing that the court noticed was the administrative collapse in Delhi, the fact that there has been no cabinet since March, primarily because of the fact that the Chief Minister is presently in judicial custody and you need to have a permission from the concerned court. And importantly, the other point that has been noticed by the court is the fact that the standing committee has not had any meeting because of the fact that the elections have not been held for the post of the mayor. So there are in fact several administrative failure in Delhi, and that is one of the reasons why the Chief Justice has said that Delhi is hurtling from one disaster to another disaster.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us, Bhavtosh, with that quick update there. We'll quickly open this out and take it across to our guest joining us as well. We have Sandeep Kapoor joining us. He's a spokesperson of the BJP. With us also is Rami Desai, author. Ashutosh Mishra is a senior journalist joining us. Sanjeev Kaushik is a political analyst with us. Also joining us is Akashdeep Muni. But let me start with Sandeep Kapoor, spokesperson of the BJP. Because Sandeep Kapoor, certainly these observations which have been made as far as Delhi police, it's all very well. And certainly nobody is taking away from the responsibility of the Delhi government or the MCD, which are ruled by the AAP. But in that same vein, given that Delhi police reports to the centre, the BJP also perhaps at some level or the other would have to respond for what kind of bizarre things have been happening in the name of investigation in the national capital, where the driver of an SUV is arrested. The High Court is saying, thank God you didn't blame the rainwater and challan them next. That's why they've sent it to the CBI, it appears, Sandeep Kapoor.
See, the center point of this overall disaster is that drainage system was not clean, and plus the encroachment was there. And since few days, we have been investigating that why since last 2 years so much water logging is there in Delhi, and we are astonished to find out that the silt which is removed from the drains has not reached the silt dumping grounds. It has been checked that 5 to 6 lakh metric ton this silt, which is removed by 4 agencies in Delhi. Number 1 agency is MCD, which is looking after the small drains. After that, 4 feet wide drains which are checked by PWD and silt is removed. Third is the flood and irrigation, which controls the big drains in Delhi. And fourth one is the Delhi Jal Board, which is to handle the sewer lines of entire Delhi. So all these 4 agencies are under Aam Aadmi Party.
I will ask the Aam Aadmi Party that question, but Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor, the Delhi police hasn't covered itself in glory either. One second, Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor, please answer my question on the Delhi police. You're not answering that. You think they've covered themselves in glory?
Court has already quoted Delhi police that you have to do the investigation as per rules, and if there is a deviations...
Sir, I don't think you are aware. The court has actually moved the investigation to CBI. Are you aware of that? How often does that happen in the national capital? Please tell me, sir.
Court has already taken a correction steps. So that is there. But why this disaster has been stuck?
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a minute. We'll get to that in just a minute. But certainly not a moment in which Delhi police has covered itself in glory. But let me bring in some of our other panelists as well. Akashdeep Muni, while the Delhi police has certainly been criticized, and perhaps rightly so, the investigation now goes to the CBI. But the court has also not absolved the Delhi government or MCD. Why has there been no cabinet meeting since March 2024? Why is there no standing committee in the MCD for over a year? These are questions that the Aam Aadmi Party has to answer.
Madhavji, I totally agree with you that these are the prominent questions revolving around after the Delhi High Court order. The question on standing committee, why standing committee did not meet? I want to tell you that Shelley Oberoy's tenure ended much earlier and the new mayor was not selected, which is why the meetings of standing committee was not happening. Now, the election of the new mayor was stopped by the Honorable Lieutenant Governor, and Aam Aadmi Party, who holds the majority in MCD, requested for a new mayor to be appointed, but the LG denied. And regarding the cabinet meetings, I hope you know that the Honorable Chief Minister, as he is in jail, the cabinet meetings are unable to happen. But the most prominent question today, with the Honorable Court...
no, but Akashdeep Muni, he can very well relinquish his position. He wants to make a political point, and he is in jail, and the governance of Delhi is suffering. That's the simple point at the end of the day. Practically all other chief ministers have resigned when they go to jail, because they're concerned about their citizens and the administration. That doesn't appear to be the case here.
Sir, the problem is that today's the Honorable High Court judgment could have been seen on some of the other facets itself. Like just a day before, a 2.5-year-old baby and her mother died because of the lackadaisical attitude of DDA, which is under Lieutenant Governor. You can see that their dead bodies were found
Dr. Muni, I am asking you a question, you are replying with something else. Why have a debate? If I have to ask you a question, please answer it, no? What kind of answer is this? I'm asking about Mr. Kejriwal not relinquishing his position as Chief Minister, and you're talking about a 2-year-old baby dying. That's a serious issue, nevertheless. Please stick to the debate. I can't have every panelist going in different directions. Please talk to the subject at hand. We're talking about what the High Court's observations are. There's a crisis of governance in Delhi. Please address that issue.
That's what I'm saying, that the High Court's observations could have not focused on only drowning of 3 students, but also would have focused on the latest drowning of 1 baby and 1 mother who have drowned because of...
Mr. Muni, water also has certain limits. If you want to approach the High Court, please petition the High Court, sir. Nobody is stopping you from doing that. It's a free country. But we're here debating an issue. Let's stick to the subject at hand. I want Rami Desai to come in on this, because Rami Desai, the High Court hasn't spared anyone. Not the Delhi police, not the Delhi government, not the MCD. But why does it have to happen that you have to bring in the CBI, that these matters have to come in the first place? Can't people just go on and do their job? Why do we have an MCD? Why do we have a Delhi government if they're not doing the job for the citizens?
Good evening, Madhav. Absolutely. Let me speak here, I'm not a spokesperson for any party, but let me speak here as somebody who's born and brought up in Delhi. This is my city. And it's sad that, sometimes there's a drought, sometimes there's a flood, we have problems of traffic, we have all sorts of problems, and there's no responsibility anywhere, Now, I've just heard our spokesperson speak, and I find this sort of apathy absolutely shocking and unacceptable as a citizen of this city who's grown up here. Because, you can't say that, the elections didn't happen. After the elections also warnings were given that this sort of weather pattern might take place, Yet there was no sort of sense of urgency, because clearly the party that is governing this state is imploding. Now, if you have no leadership, how can you run a union territory as large as this? The kind of encroachments we have, the kind of lack of civic amenities that we have, then to have a government that's not available or preoccupied with their own internal problems is not an acceptable answer or an excuse, and you can't give that excuse to parents whose children have died. And this also then makes us wonder if this is the kind of safety precautions that you have. What about the MCD schools that are under you? Do they know, do they have fire drills? Are you paying attention? Because if this is UPSC children who are adults, who can be put in positions like this, what about the young children in schools? You are jeopardizing everybody's lives. Also let me say this, if prior warnings have been given from the weather department, then you don't have any moral standing to say that the elections happened late. If, the courts have pointed out that no standing committee meetings have taken place, no cabinet committee meetings have taken place, the fact is that then you have to reassess, whether this is a government that is functioning at all or not. Because,
all right. There are serious questions here. There are many questions to be answered. We're discussing the kind of observations that have come out of the Delhi High Court, which has in fact transferred the probe from the Delhi police to the CBI. But let me bring in Sanjeev Kaushik at this point of time. Ashutosh Mishra's hand is, of course, going. All right. Ashutosh, to you first. Of course, the Congress party has been protesting on this particular issue, but raising very, very serious questions on the governance level, as well as, of course, the investigation that has been carried out in Delhi.
So, Delhi public has actually become a victim of the power struggle between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP. I mean, you have to understand, as you rightly said, Kejriwal could have resigned, and just as in Jharkhand, when the CM has been cleared, he came back to his seat. Similarly, if you take BJP, the standing committee that you were speaking about, standing committee problem will be resolved next week when the Supreme Court delivers its judgment on the LG's right to appoint people to MCD. The main problem here is that BJP is unwilling to accept that Aam Aadmi Party will be able to run the elections are due, and they are just aiming for that. And that
Ashutosh, tell me something. If this is such a serious concern of the Congress party, and your state unit has been protesting on the roads of Delhi on this issue, and rightly so, it's an issue that concerns citizens. Why is it that the Congress has not picked up the Delhi apathy? You're sitting in the same dharna on Tuesday, just 7 kilometers from Rajinder Nagar, sharing the dais with the Aam Aadmi Party. Why aren't you trying to hold the Aam Aadmi Party accountable in Parliament, sir?
So the what is more serious here? More serious here is the BJP's politicization of the bureaucracy. It is you said the High Court pulled up police officials and MCD officials. These are the officials which are reporting to LG and Amit Shah. And what is BJP doing? It's allowing.
I'm sorry, sir. The NCD is ruled by the Aam Aadmi Party. The Delhi government is also ruled by the Aam Aadmi Party. You know, it's a little. The logic there doesn't work out. If your state unit is protesting and your central unit is not, then there is a serious issue there. Nevertheless, let me bring in Sanjeev Kaushik, क्योंकि संजीव कौशिक एक कैबिनेट मीटिंग नहीं हुई, स्टैंडिंग कमेटी का गठन नहीं हुआ एमसीडी में, बहुत गंभीर सवाल उठाए हाई कोर्ट ने. दिल्ली पुलिस की तो ऑफ कोर्स प्रोब ही ट्रांसफर कर दी है सीबीआई को, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट दैट. लेकिन जहां तक गवर्नेंस के स्टैंडर्ड्स है दिल्ली में, उस पर भी बहुत गहरे सवाल उठाए हाई कोर्ट ने.
देखिए, निश्चित तौर पे हाई कोर्ट ने जो सवाल उठाए हैं उस सवालों पर टिप्पणी करने की हैसियत मेरी नहीं है, लेकिन ये बात तय है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिस तरह से आम आदमी पार्टी के हर एक काम में रोड़े अटकाने का प्रयास करती है, जिस तरह से स्टैंडिंग कमेटी के गठन में एलजी साहब ने जिस तरह से रोड़े अटकाए, वो साफ दिखाई देता है कि इन लोगों की नीयत क्या है. कि हम लोगों ने देखा है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को 15 सालों से जो जमी हुई थी एमसीडी में, किस तरह से लोगों ने बाहर का रास्ता दिखा दिया. बावजूद उसके मेयर तक के चुनाव के लिए कोर्ट का शरण लेना पड़ता है जिस पार्टी को, वो एकदम साफ दिखाई देता है कि इनकी नीयत क्या है. मैं अभी भी कह रहा हूं कि हाई कोर्ट ने जो संज्ञान लिया है वो हम भी चाहते हैं कि यदि 3 उस तरह के निर्दोष बच्चों की जान गई है तो कुछ न कुछ उसके रास्ते निकलने चाहिए. भविष्य में इस तरह की गलतियां ना हो, जो कमियां हैं वो कमियां दुरुस्त हों. लेकिन भारतीय जनता पार्टी कोरी राजनीति करने का प्रयास कर रही है. इसमें वो बार बार ये बात कहती है कि आप मुख्यमंत्री को इस्तीफा देना चाहिए, फांसी पे लटका
चाहिए. आम आदमी पार्टी ऑफ कोर्स रिफ्यूजिंग टू टेक रिस्पांसिबिलिटी. वी हैव सीन अ सिमिलर पैटर्न ऑफ ब्लेमिंग ऑफ द सेंटर एंड द एलजी इन द पास्ट, बट लेट्स लीव इट देयर. संदीप कपूर, रामी देसाई, आशुतोष मिश्रा, Sanjeev Kaushik, Akashdeep Puni, thanks so much for joining us this evening.